What's going on, everybody? Ride with Will here, and on this video we ended up doing Timberline Trail. Over here we're quickly introduced to a pretty deep water crossing, at least the path that I took. Now you do have the option of taking that bridge up there on the right hand side. This mountain life obviously decided not to, and Cool Eye Colorado took, I believe, the shallow side. I think if you stick to the right side it is a bit shallow. So on our way to find this single track, we are introduced to a 50-inch trail at first, and it's pretty cool because this is Texas Lake right over here. Texas Lake is very beautiful. I mean, camera does not even do it justice. And by the way, it is very dusty, very dusty. Over here we finally found a little sign that says, hey, this is the single track Timberline Trail. It starts off kind of tight, a little bit trees in the way. Now the bad part about this trail, it is very dusty, incredibly dusty. Kind of why I'm staying way back over there, and of course I wasn't also using the best goggles at the time. Woo. Yeah, so far this ain't too bad. Oh, this is steep. As you can tell, it gets pretty steep, losing control and stuff like that. Now it's very the dirt is very soft, It's definitely a single track that's full of turns, that's for sure. I mean, I don't find it that difficult, at least not yet. Some areas are pretty tight. Second gear, damn, I barely had enough kick. Alright, now we're talking. Now it's getting a little bit more difficult. Whew. Wow, that was pretty tough. Now in the beginning it wasn't that hard. Timberline Trail gets definitely a lot more difficult towards the end, especially towards Cotton Pass Road. Now I've only did one section of this trail. I haven't done the entire Timberline Trail. I've heard parts of the Timberline Trail is pretty tough. For this section right here, right off Texas Lake, I didn't find it incredibly challenging, but there are some tough spots. I think the worst part of all of this is actually the dust. Not to mention this beautiful forest ride. Just check it out. It is one of my favorite kind of rides. It's when you're just coasting through the forest and stuff like that. Damn, now it's getting pretty rocky. Yep, this is it. Finally, we have some kind of flowy section. Now I know in the video I did say, this trail is getting pretty rocky. Believe me, the camera really doesn't do it any justice at all. The trail actually is pretty rocky, but it's still not a very hard trail. I'm more in it for like that beautiful scenic forest ride along this trail. Getting dust in my eye. Again, Taylor Park has all kinds of riding. It has forest riding, it has riding around the mountains, it has a bunch of different types of ridings. In this section right over here, it does get really steep. This is a pretty steep climb. Now the climb isn't that very difficult, but what made it kind of hard was the dirt was just very loose. It's that very soft, fine grained dirt. So you can kind of tell it's in the forest. Even though we're like in the forest and stuff like that, it doesn't get that hot. there is still a lot of dust. It collects a lot of dust. Now, towards the end right here, this is one of my favorite sections of the trails. Just, it feels like you're just deep inside the rainforest or something. It's pretty awesome, pretty remarkable. Especially as Kulai, Colorado right in front of me. Believe me, this trail, it's a pretty long trail system, just even that section alone. And we were pretty tired. We had to stop quite a few times just because, you know, you're fighting a lot with the bike on the rocks and stuff like that, and you're up high in elevation, so you have a lot less oxygen. Now right here, this is the harder section of Timberline Trail. This is more of where you're getting closer to Cottonwood Pass Road, I believe. So the trail is pretty easy on the Texas Lake or the Texas Creek side, and anything towards Cottonwood Pass is going to be a little bit more difficult. As you can tell, it's definitely getting rocky. It's wearing me out and I'm getting tired. I probably could have kept up my speed, go over that rock with no problem, but this trail really takes a beating on you with all the rocks and tightness and stuff like that. In this section here too, don't forget, we're up in the mountains. I believe this is about 10,000 feet of elevation. I'm not 100% sure, maybe 10, 11,000. So it's just a sudden climb to the top, all the way up to Cottonwood Pass Road. So essentially you start way down below, all the way up by Texas Lake, and then it's just a straight shot to the top. If you want to do it downhill, essentially just do it the other way around from Cottonwood Pass Road and then just go down that way. Now I believe you do have to be plated in order to go on Cottonwood Pass Road. They don't accept OH fees, but you could also cross the street as well. Now this is towards the end right over here. Now I'm probably going to make this video into 2 different sections. It's a pretty long trail system. I'm not sure how long I'm going to make the second video, but I figured, you know, 8 minutes is definitely enough time. As you can tell, some parts are flowy, some parts get a little rocky, so you have a mixture of everything in between. Rocky and then bigger rocks, smaller rocks, tight stuff. It's just a mixture of everything. But everything is in the forest, which makes this trail pretty awesome. Of course, Taylor Park has a bunch of other mountain type of rides as well, which I will probably post later on in this channel, so be sure to subscribe, hit that bell button, that way you guys can be notified. Now, once you're at the end right over here, you can usually tell by how rockier it gets. What I mean by the end is if you start off at Texas Lake and then just go all the way up towards the Cottonwood Pass Road, once it starts getting a lot more rockier, that's when you know, hey, you're already at the end, that's it. I kind of stopped here, I needed a breather, I just couldn't keep going. You can see in the video it gets really rocky. And then keep in mind, you know, the camera really flattens out a lot of things. This is the part where it got a little bit tough right over here. I mean, I'm sure if I was fresh, not as tired, I probably could have just tackled right through that rock, but I started getting really bad arm pump. My cardio level is not very good as well, and of course we're up in the mountains, 10,000 feet of elevation, so. But anyhow, guys, go ahead and subscribe, hit that bell button. I'll catch you guys in my next video, and if you guys want to go ahead and wait for the second part to come out, just hit that bell button.